Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. I wanted to invite anyone that wanted to come, but especially the new students and parents that are new to our school today, just to go over some things that you may not already know, maybe a few anxieties or what ifs, the things that kind of go through a young person's mind on going to a new school and to the next level of school. But before I begin on that, I want to introduce to you a person in K-9 that is very special to our school. This is Officer Tillman, and this is Officer Coco. She is enjoying her new toy. So you will often see Officer Tillman and Officer Coco here at our school, just being here for extra added security. And Coco is a wonderful therapy dog, but she'll get down to business when she needs to. So when you see Officer Coco and Officer Tillman here, just make sure to ask permission from Officer Tillman to pet Officer Coco, so that if she's working at that time, then she'll have to tell you maybe next time and go from there. But I wanted you guys to know who Officer Tillman was. She'll be in and out throughout the school year, and as well as our beloved Officer Coco. So
there you go, she killed it.
She got it. She's been working on it. All right, so welcome to MacArthur Middle School. I wanted to introduce you, at least to have a little bit of a picture with a name, to all of our administrative staff. First and foremost, we have a new head principal this school year, and we are all very excited to have her. And she is here with me. This is Mrs. Mims. So Mrs. Mims is our head principal, exactly, because she deserves that. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Welcome to MacArthur. We are glad to have you as part of our family. We are a family here. Every adult, I want the parents to know, as well as the kids, every adult in this building is here to see your kids' success. If they need anything, they can ask a teacher, a counselor, a custodian, a cook. Any adult in the building is here for them. So be sure and reach out if you need anything. We have a counselor per grade level and a principal per grade level. We're all here for your students. So welcome to MAC. We're glad to have you. We're just excited to get the year started. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mims. So she is our head principal. She is our fearless leader. Mr. Brent Hagan is our 8th grade principal this year. Then Kobe McClure is our 7th grade principal. And I am April Bowden, and I'm the 6th grade principal. Now, although we are assigned grade levels, it is not something where if your student is 7th grade and they need something and they see me, I'm going to say, you're not my kid, sorry. You can go to any one of us, and we will be more than happy to help in any way that we can, okay? We also have this year what we call a Dean of Students, and that's Mr. Dan Wilmore. A Dean of Students helps take care of the majority of our discipline, and so we are very excited to have Mr. Wilmore on our administrative staff this year. Now, if you have gone over to get your schedules, these faces will look familiar to you. We have, for our counseling staff, we have our 6th grade counselor, Mrs. Engel. Our 7th grade counselor, she is new to our building this year, Ms. Hughes. She came over from Pioneer Park. We're very happy, we're very happy to have her. Our 8th grade counselor is Dr. Berry, and she is also our cheer coach. So you'll see those 3 lovely ladies, and they are working really hard on our schedules. So. Okay, so let's kind of get into details and into the things of the what ifs and how does this work and what time, where to, how to, all of those things. So the first thing is start time and end time. I've had a lot of people ask that question. So our start time, we open the doors at 7:40, okay? So with that being said, if you drop your kid off at 7:25, there's going to be very limited supervision for them outside from that time until we open the doors at 7:40. Okay, so just please keep that in mind. So our doors will open at 7:40. At 8:05 is when first hour starts. So if your child shows up to first hour after that, they will be considered tardy, okay? Now, if they come in the door after we have closed down our security, which are metal detectors and our bag check, they'll have to go to the main office, they'll get their bags checked there, and they'll do a sign-in sheet so that our secretaries can put in what time they arrived from school or to school. And then 2:55 is when our 8th hour is over and everybody will exit the building. Now I will say this, if you have practice or a club meeting or anything like that after school, if you leave the doors, those doors lock and you cannot come back in, okay? So if you have a club meeting, practice, go directly to that. Don't go out the front doors. Make sure you go directly to where you need to go, okay? All right. So the next thing that we have is buses, our transportation. Now our transportation, I just talked to our director today, and they are working on getting on the LPS website. There is a transportation bookmarker there that you would go to that. You'll put in your address and it'll tell you exactly what bus you will ride, okay? So with that being said, I don't have that schedule in front of me. So what I would do, if you are a bus rider or you need your child to ride a bus, then you will need to go to the LPS website and put your address in and it'll tell you what bus to ride, okay? Once we have that information and that we can print it off, we'll have it so that we can help them with that. Just make sure that your child knows what bus they ride, okay? So drop off in the morning, the buses are going to unload just before the awning out here in the front, and they'll unload and then walk to the doors to come in. At the end of the day, I call it the circle drive. It's not really a circle, but they'll come and they'll park in the circle drive. So they'll go under the awning and go all the way to the street and park in that drive. There is a whiteboard right outside of our doors. The buses will be listed there in the order that they have arrived. So look at that whiteboard. If you ride bus 724 and that's the very first one listed, it's the very first bus in the line, okay, and so on and so forth. That's where we also will post our bus changes if there are any. So I had a parent ask, what happens if a bus is delayed? So there's a few different ways to deal with that. They'll let you know through text message. I'm sure most of you have received the text messages that our district sends out. They can send out a text message to those that ride that bus saying that this is delayed. Or if your student is on the bus and you're wondering where they're at in between when they got picked up in school, we have what we call Zonar, and they'll take their ID badge once that's been issued and they'll scan onto the bus and they'll scan off of the bus. And so you can get onto that app and know exactly where they are on the bus, okay? Okay, our middle school supply list. Okay, so we posted a middle school, a generic supply list. So these are things that are needed for generally all of the classes. Now there may be some specific supplies that a certain class may need. For instance, art. If you're going to take an art class, you clearly are going to need something a little bit more than what's on this list, okay? So with that being said, this is that generic list. After the first day of school, they'll tell you, hey, for this class, you're gonna need a folder that has the brads in the middle. Or hey, you're gonna need a 1-inch 3-ring binder, something of that nature. Being said, last year, 6th graders and 7th graders from here were able to keep their Chromebook and charger, and they are to bring it back when they come back to school. So 6th graders, whenever you get back to school, you'll have your Chromebook within the first 2 to 3 days of school. I cannot stress to you how important it is to charge it every single night, okay? How many of you students have cell phones? How many of you make sure that you plug it in every day? Okay, so if you can plug in your cell phone, you can plug in your Chromebook. Okay, so please, please, please make sure you have those charged every day. You have to bring those to school every single day. Okay, that's gonna be your main way of doing classwork. Textbooks are on there and so on and so forth. So every student will be given a computer and a charger. Students will be responsible for the device and charging it for daily use. It comes to school every day charged. If you do not have an LPS issued Chromebook, you'll receive that within the first week of school. I was notified 2 to 3 days. Chromebook insurance is $30, okay, and that is non-refundable. If you had a Chromebook last year and you paid your $30 last year, as of the first day of school, that insurance drops off and you have to pay that $30 for the new school year, okay? All right, on the Chromebooks, what online classroom is used? We use Google Classroom. Some of you may be familiar with this. It's where you find all of your classes all in one spot. Your teachers will do announcements on there, assignments on there, they'll post their lessons on there. If you're absent, this is where you will go to get all of the things that you missed that day. So your teachers individually will tell you how much they use Google Classroom, but every single class of yours will have a Google Classroom. So it's a really good informational tool and keep track of your assignments. And I will tell you, parents, that once you have these Google Classrooms, there is a way for you to be invited to these classrooms so that you will also get notified when there's an assignment that's been assigned, when notes have been uploaded, those types of things. So you can be a part of this as well, okay? Clever is a tool that we use here that is a single sign-on. So you'll sign into Clever and it will get you to every resource that we use here. This will get you to the Google Classroom. It'll get you to vocabulary. It'll get you to your textbooks. It'll get you to all the Google Suite. Clever is the first thing you open when you log onto your Chromebook, okay? So this is a really good place to go for all of your things. It's a one-stop shop, so you don't have to take the time to log into the computer, log into Clever, log into Google Classroom, then log into vocabulary. It's all under one single sign-on, okay? So with that being said, with all of the computer stuff that I've talked about, the Google Classroom, the Clever, the Chromebook, it's very, very important that you guys understand as students, whatever happens on your Chromebook, you are responsible for. Do not loan your Chromebook to somebody and give them the login to it. Or don't be logged into it and allow somebody else to use it. Because what you do on those Chromebooks is monitored. And if there's something that's alarming that comes across your Chromebook, then we get notified of that, and then we'll bring you in and we'll say, hey, what's going on? Why are you looking at these things, or why are you searching this? And then we'll have to talk to, your grown-up and let them know what's going on too. So do not give your login, password, or anything to anyone, okay? All right. So Chromebooks are important for remote days and virtual days because we do have some that are scheduled throughout the year. Sometimes we have days that we didn't realize we were gonna have off, and so for an emergency or weather or things like that, so your Chromebook is what's gonna give you access to your classes when we can't be in class in person. Remote days are days where our teachers are at home also, okay? And they'll make sure something's posted and they'll kind of keep an eye out on the Google Classroom or whatever assignment that they've given that day, but they're not necessarily readily available. On virtual days, the teachers are available all day to do a Google Meet or to call you or to do what they need to do to help you throughout the day. Remote and virtual means that you guys are at home doing school from home, okay? Backpacks, bags, those kind of things. Yes, they have to be mesh or clear plastic, okay? And they've actually come out some pretty cool looking ones now that so many people are going to that. So, but yes, they have to be mesh or clear plastic. The athletic bags, if you have a bat bag or a volleyball gym bag or something you bring your football clothes in or whatever, if it's not clear or mesh, then we have a place to put those in the gym. So when you come to school after Scott Talk in the morning, which I'll talk about that later, you'll take the bag and they'll be secured in a spot because they can't be taken to class. Sometimes they're too big to take to class anyway, but we have an athletic bag room that you can put those things in that room. But if it's not clear or mesh, it can't be taken into the classroom, okay? Now with the clear mesh backpacks, I will say that those things break. I totally understand that. And we can show grace. If your backpack breaks and you're trying to find another one, or you have one on order, or you just haven't been able to get to the store yet, it's okay to bring a backpack and say, you know, I'm getting one. We'll kind of keep tabs on it and say, okay, today's fine. We understand things happen, life happens. And so with that being said, we'll give you a couple days to get that new backpack in, but after that, we won't allow that bag into class, okay? Campus security, we have Officer Tillman and Officer Coco, like I said earlier, on occasion. They are here as often as they can be. We do have metal detectors every single day. So what happens is both the doors that you guys came in today and these north doors, they're twin doors, okay? Both of those will be open, and we will have our metal detectors at those doors, and there'll be tables set up right next to it, much like the ones in the picture. What you'll do is you'll have your backpack unzipped, and if you have a pencil bag in your bag, you need to unzip that. If you have like a trapper keeper type thing that has a zipper on it, make sure it's at least unzipped on the top, so that we can check your bag for things that we're not supposed to have. Make sure all of that stuff is unzipped. As you go through the metal detector, your bag will be slid down to the end of the table. Grab your bag. Don't stand there and zip everything up, but grab your bag and you'll carry it here into the auditorium for Scott Talk. And when you sit down, then you can zip everything back up, okay? Also, if you have anything in your pockets, including your phones, then make sure you put them in your backpack. I wouldn't just set it on the table. I would put it in your backpack so everybody knows that it belongs to that bag, so it can be slid down, okay? You'll go to the auditorium and you'll zip your bag back up in the auditorium. Okay, visitors. Throughout the day, if you need to come up to the school for whatever reason, the first thing that you'll need to do, you'll ring the doorbell at these north doors right out here, and we have a camera there so we can see who's coming, and our secretaries will buzz you in. When you come in, you're expected to go straight to the main office, and then we can help you with whatever you need there. If you are picking up a child, you must have a photo ID. If you don't have a photo ID, we're going to tell you, I'm sorry, we can't allow you to pick up that child. We want to make sure that everyone stays as safe as possible, and everybody has different situations. So without an ID, we cannot let your child go, okay? So make sure you have a photo ID. We also cannot allow any child to go with someone that is not on the pickup list. So if you don't have somebody on the pickup list, then you can add as many people as you need or want, and that's at the information change table out there. But if they're not on that list, we can't allow them to go, okay? Cell phones. At this point, I would say most students have a cell phone. It's okay to bring your cell phone to school. Our expectations are that when you come in, that cell phone is turned off and put away. We do not allow cell phone use in school during class, not even at lunch, okay? So if you need to contact your parent, then what you can do is you can ask your teacher, may I go to the office to call my mom? You can come to the office and we'll say, do you have your own cell phone? You say, yeah, I do. Okay, you can go ahead and call your parent or text your parent here in the office. And then when you leave to go back to class, it's to be turned off and put back away. So make sure that you understand that they have to be turned off and put away during the day unless you go to the front office and you're using it with permission there. Okay, even at lunch, we do not do cell phones here. If your student is noticed with their phone, if they're on their phone with it turned on, of course, we're gonna give them warnings. But if they're a repeat offender and someone that consistently needs that reminder of our policy, then we will have that student take their phone to the front office and we'll put it in a bag with their name on it and we'll lock it up and contact you all, and then their parent will have to pick it up, or their grown-up will have to pick up the phone and then talk with the principal about what the situation is, okay? Dress code. So dress code, this is a very vague picture. Would you agree with that? Yes, it is. So with that being said, just when you're leaving the house, kids, when you look at the mirror, say, are all the things that need to be covered, are they covered? We need to make sure that we're not being distracting to others or yourself. So we have some things that are okay. We have a skirt is okay, but a skirt that's like way up here is not okay. General rule of thumb, if you put your hands next to your sides and relax your shoulders, then your skirt, your shorts, anything like any bottom garments need to be longer than your fingertips. I'm very well aware that some people have really long legs. I am well aware that people have really long arms sometimes, but we also need to take that into account when you're coming to school with whatever you choose to wear, okay? So please make sure that the bottoms that you wear are long enough, okay? Also the holes in the pants. I don't mind if you wear the holes in the pants, totally fine. I think they kind of look cool. I mean, I'm not completely old, but you know. But the holes in the pants have to be below that fingertip also. So if you come with jeans on and there's a hole right up here, we're gonna have you change, okay? Now, if there is a hole up there in your jeans and you still want to wear them, if you wear leggings underneath them, then that's okay, you can do that. We just need to make sure that no skin is showing that high up, okay? With leggings, we don't mind leggings as long as the shirts are long enough to cover what it needs to cover, okay? So just make sure we're using some good judgment when we're getting dressed for the dress code, okay? If for some reason we do have an issue with it, we'll give you a call and we'll say, hey, this is why we feel like this needs to be addressed, and we'll go from there, okay? ID badges. I know most of you probably have already taken your ID picture. I was informed right before we started that the camera that they use for the IDs is down right now. So if you haven't gotten your ID picture taken, that's okay. No stressing allowed. We will get your picture, I promise. Your ID will come in about 2 weeks after school starts because the district has to print the IDs for every student in the district, so it takes a little bit of time. You have to wear your ID every day. So with that being said, if you lose your ID, we'll show grace one time, okay, because I lose things too, and we'll give you your first replacement for free, okay? But if you lose it again, and every time after that, it's $5 to get a replacement, okay? We'll also give you a lanyard, okay? A lanyard, we're gonna do 6th grade is gonna have green lanyards, 7th grade is gonna have yellow lanyards, 8th grade is gonna have black lanyards. Now, if you want to wear your own lanyard, go for it, okay? I'm not telling you can't wear your own, because sometimes the ones that I see are really cool, but if the ones we issue, that's the way that's going to be. You have to wear your ID around your neck, or I have a little clip right here, so it's right here and people can see exactly who I am. So make sure you wear it to where people can see it. So with that being said, what are they used for? Okay, literally ID badges are used for everything, okay, everything. Not only an identification purpose, but at breakfast, they scan your badge. At lunch, they scan your badge. The library, that's how you check out books. Any school event that you go to, if you're going to football games, soccer games, baseball, whatever games, whatever event, you have to have your ID on. Okay, so it's really, really important. It's kind of training you to have a driver's license later because you got to have your ID. Okay, so you must wear it all day, every day. Okay. How will I know where to go on the first day? How many of you guys kind of have that first day jitters like, OMG, what's happening and where do I go? Some of you have those feelings but don't want to raise your hand, and that's okay. So the first day, you're going to get dropped off out in the front. Okay, car line is underneath the awning. If you're getting dropped off, go through the metal detectors that we already talked about, right? Okay. Once you go through those metal detectors, you're going to come in here. So you're already familiar with where you're going to go. So 6th grade section is right here, okay? So if you're in the 6th grade, you'll come in and you'll fill up every row, every seat, starting in the front, okay? 7th grade section is here in the middle, and the 8th graders will sit on that far end. So Scott Talk is every morning. That's where we do our flag salutes, we get our information, we do our announcements, and we do our creed, and we get ready for the day, okay? So that's what you're going to do first. And when you leave here, 6th grade goes out this door right here, okay? 7th grade goes out that door back there, and 8th graders go out that door. And of course, we're all going to be here to help you, okay? And then you'll go to your first hour, wherever that might be at, okay? So Scott Talk is every single morning, all right? Okay, how long is each class? Approximately 45 minutes, not too bad, okay? Now there's a couple of classes that are a little bit longer because of lunch times, okay? So 5th hour is the hour that determines what lunch you go to, okay? So you have about 45 minutes for classes, and then you have, except for 5th hours kind of vary because of the lunches, and your lunch assignment, which whenever lunch you have, is based on your 5th hour. So it's a little bit blurry up there, but first hour is 8:05 to 8:50. Second hour is 8:55 to 9:25. That's when we eat breakfast, okay? Second hour is your first hour, okay? So wherever you're at first hour, you stay there for second hour, okay? So that's when you eat breakfast. Then after that, you'll go to third hour from 9:25 to 10:10. Fourth hour is 10:15 to 11. Okay. If you have first lunch, that's when you go to lunch, right after your 4th hour. Okay. Second lunch, okay, you'll go to 5th hour. Halfway through 5th hour, you'll go to lunch. And after you're done eating lunch, you go back to your 5th hour. That one's a little tough sometimes. If you have an elective 5th hour, you'll have second lunch. Third lunch is after 5th hour. Okay, so you'll go through the entire 5th hour and then you'll have lunch. 6th hour is 12:26 to 1:13. 7th hour is 1:18 to 2:04. 8th hour is 2:09 to 2:55. How long is in between classes? You have 5 minutes. Last year, we actually started out with 3 minutes between each class. But we decided that we would prefer, instead of leaving class, to return a book to the library real quick, or to use the restroom, or to stop at the office to drop something off or to make a quick call to mom or dad or your grown-up, that we made it 5 minutes to be able to have time to do those little things so you didn't have to miss class or get asked to get out of class to do those things. So in those 5 minutes, trust me, it's plenty of time to go from where you're at, use the restroom if you need to, or drop a library book off if you need to, and get to your next class, okay? Now, I know this is when the whole school is in the hallways and everybody's gonna go, I wanna go see my friend. I'm gonna walk my friend to their class. I want my friend to walk me to class. You need to really be focused on you and where you need to be, okay? So say hi to your friend. Of course, that's what we want you to do, but then say, I'm going this way. Okay, I'm going this way. All right, I'll see you later, okay? So you have 5 minutes between classes, so make sure you use it wisely. We actually have kind of a warning that you're running out of time. With 1 minute left between classes, we will start playing music. So when you hear that music, you know that you have less than a minute to get to the class that you're supposed to be at, okay? It kind of gives you a cue as to, okay, I need to kick it into high gear. Okay. Lunch assignments, like I said, are by 5th hour teacher, and this is a rough, I know it's real quick, but these are the lunch assignments. Second lunch, which is the one that's in the middle of 5th hour, if you have an elective class that hour, then you'll have second lunch. Most, not all, but most 6th graders will have first lunch, okay, unless you're an elective. So, okay, so this is a map of our school, okay? So I'm going to kind of give a very quick, rough idea of where we are. We are right here in the auditorium, okay? This is where you came in at, and these are the other doors that you can come in at when school starts, okay? So when you come in this door, okay, here's the commons area, which is the lunchroom, okay? These hallways to the right, or these classrooms to the right are mainly elective classes, okay? The 6th grade hallway is to the left, okay? All of these are 6th grade core classes: math, English, science, social studies, okay? Now, the main gym is where girls have PE at, okay? These are the restrooms right here that you will use most of the time. So if you keep walking straight, this right here is the 7th grade core classrooms, okay? And all the way in the back, that's where most of the 8th grade classes are, and there are a few electives back there, okay? And the library is right in the middle. Library's right there in the middle, okay? This hallway right here houses our MACTAP program, which is a technical application program. Those are our shops. We're going to be offering farm to table, auto shop, plumbing, and digital media for our technical application program this year. So that's really cool. Those are for 7th and 8th graders. So 6th graders, keep that in mind as the school year goes on. Okay, band. You'll go down that hallway for band, and then you'll go down the elective hallway for vocal music. So this, we will have copies of the map for you. If you need one, we can definitely get that for you, okay? Okay, clubs and sports. We have lots of stuff for you guys to do. We want to keep you involved. We want to find something that you enjoy that you can find in common with some other students. So we have fall sports, and I very well could have missed them because there's a lot of them. Fall sports, football, softball, volleyball, and this year we have cross country, which is new. Winter sports, basketball and wrestling. Spring sports, baseball, tennis, golf, track, and soccer. And then our Scott squad is kind of like a pep club, but it's for everybody. And cheerleading, that's all year long. We have so many clubs. I just named a few: drama club, PTO, multicultural club, military child club, the art club, the partners club. There is so many of them, it's hard to name them all. So we have TV monitors. It'll scroll through, look at those during lunchtime, in the morning, and it'll tell you about all of our different clubs whenever they start up, okay? Now PTO is a parent-teacher organization. We encourage your membership because we want so badly for this to be a full family experience, not just send your kid to school and send them home. We want you to be involved. We want to know you. We want to know your child. And so we look forward to doing some really cool things this year. So to be a member of that is $5 for the year. Okay, and we do have these awesome shirts available as well to order. For a membership and the shirt's $20. So. All right, communication. I'm sure a lot of you are very well aware of our social media. We have an Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We have a text message system that if you need to know something immediately, then you'll get a text message, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen those. We also have the electronic sign that's out in front of our school, so whenever you're either dropping off or picking up your kiddo or driving by, pay attention to that, that sign. It'll have all of our announcements rolling through there. And then, of course, the LPS website and our school website. Our phone number is 353-5111. Our office hours are 7:15 to 3:30. Okay. Okay, so absences. If you know that your child is not going to be at school, okay, please communicate that to our office. It's so important. It's also important to communicate that with your teachers as well, both verbally and through email. Just let them know so that you can either be on top of whatever they're missing, or they know that when your child gets back, they can approach your child and say, here, this is what you missed. If you're going to be absent unexpectedly, email your teachers as soon as you know. If that's not an option, then it's your responsibility as a student to go to your teacher and say, hey, what did I miss? Most teachers will have their assignments posted in Google Classroom. Again, our phone number is 353-5111. Miss Amber or Miss Sheila in the main office will get everything taken care of for you. It's important to understand that we do not have DVAP this year. And what that means is that either you're absent or you're present. So if you have a doctor's appointment that you're going to be absent for, bring us documentation for that so that we can mark that absent verified. Okay, so your student has 10 days that they can be absent per semester to be able to get credit for the classes during that semester. Okay, so our DVAP is only for extended absences. For instance, maybe your student ended up with COVID and they needed to be out for 10 days, 5 days, however many days, then we can do DVAP. It's an extended absence due to a medical issue for DVAP, okay? I have done a lot of slides, a lot of information. I've given you guys so much, and I'm sure there's so much more that is going through your mind, so many more questions, but I know that I've probably overwhelmed already. We are going to have an epic year. It's going to be so good. We have anxious teachers to get in that classroom and to not only teach your kiddo, but love on your kiddo, and to know that they have somebody here that wants them here and wants to see them every day. So if you do have questions, please ask. Find an adult around the school, and if they don't know the answer, they'll find it for you. So it is going to be a wonderful, wonderful year. So I would like to just say welcome to the family, because we are family here, okay? So that's all I have.